Um, well, I haven't been thinking about it before, like now it's actually, very close, like it's our next game. So I've spent a couple of last days just thinking about it. Obviously focusing on the games that we had beforehand more, but it's always in the back of your head, getting ready for this game. So yeah, I've been thinking a little bit about it, not too much.
Did it drive you over the off season though? I mean, the lingering effects of that game?
Oh, like the national championship game?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been thinking about that game a lot ever since we lost that game. But that's in the past now, and we're looking to our next game.
Nika, very rarely is UConn an underdog. Very rarely do you guys go into a game maybe where people are not really giving you much of a chance. How does that play in the locker room and around the team?
Well, I wouldn't say we necessarily think about us being an underdog. I feel like that's mostly or the media or the people outside or people on social media, the stuff you see, us being underdogs, which obviously we are, they're ranked higher above us. But we prepare for this game just the same way as we prepare for any other game. There's no difference to it. We're not going with an underdog mentality. But you know what? Even if we were, I like being the underdog. I've been the underdog my whole life, ever since before I came here. So I'm used to that, and sometimes I really like it too. But we don't really necessarily go with that mentality. It's another game for us that we're gonna prepare the same way for.
Nika, last year, the last seconds of the national championship game, you had the ball, and with a few seconds left, you just put the ball on the floor and walked off. Can you recall what was going through your mind then and everything? And you mentioned how, the motivation of losing that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a terrible game that we played. I feel like they punched us first. We didn't respond not once during that game, and they blew us out. And that's not what we're hoping for. That's not what we're working for the whole season. It was just like the end of that game, once everything got to your head, this is reality, we really lost that game. I was very frustrated, very disappointed. Just looking back at the whole preseason, the whole season, everything we've been working for, and we didn't show any of that in that game. That's what hurt the most, that we couldn't show it. So it was definitely very frustrating.
Does any of that ever come up when you are, say you're practicing and you're really tired and you guys, okay, one more thing?
Yeah,
Does
absolutely.
that still motivate even at this point in the season?
Absolutely. I feel like losses like that, I mean, just looking at our last loss, even against Maryland, that motivates us. Every day in practice, every day, every game. We don't want that to happen again. And in order for that not to happen again, we have to, get through that last second in practice, or when you're really tired, pull through, or pick up your teammate even though you're really, really tired. You can't go anymore. So just it's a good reminder of I don't want this to happen again. So that's why I need to work harder in practice. Not just for me, for all of us, for coaches too. So yeah, definitely, that game is a great reminder for all of us when it's really hard in practice or in games.
Is there a payback motivation?
I'm sorry.
You touched on it a little bit, but just what were kind of the emotions after that title game loss, and kind of what the locker room was like?
I mean, what can I say? It was just overall, everybody was crying in the locker room, very frustrated. I was personally very angry. It was just a big disappointment, I would say. That means so much to us. We worked so hard for it all year. We went through so much adversity last year too, that it didn't pay off in the end, because this is all we worked for. Yes, a win is a win during the season. Every win counts, but that last win is what we needed, and we didn't get it. So it was obviously very, very disappointing, and a lot of emotions going through, definitely.
You guys, South Carolina's playing with 14 players. You guys are playing with 8. You're one of the starters, averaging 35-ish minutes a game. What do you guys need to do as players to combat just knowing you're going to play so many more minutes off the court this weekend?
I mean, just I don't think we're going to do anything different, What we've been doing, I feel has been working. It has been a long stretch for us where we couldn't practice a lot and we played a lot. So obviously that took a big toll on us mentally and physically in the last game especially. But, now we have, I feel 3 days, I feel like we rested a little bit. I feel like we're gonna be physically very much ready, mentally also. But just knowing we don't have that many players, I feel like we've had to learn when to save on our energy. I'm not saying not go hard or anything like that. We would always go hard. It's just like you need to learn when to save energy, when to like really, really push through. And I feel like we've gotten much better at that. And I'm glad we have a little bit more days now to, get ready mentally and like just relax for a second.
Yeah, we talk about the physical impact of having a thin bench and kind of just what that takes on your body, but mentally, you said it a couple times. What's the mental impact of knowing there really aren't too many next women up? Like, it's on you guys.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, sometimes it can be very, very overwhelming. As I always say, like physically, we're in such great shape. Our athletic trainer, our conditioning coach, Hootie, like they do so much for us. They've really been all over the place, and you can tell, like physically, I feel like we're in a good shape. But the mental part, it can just be a little, it can be a little draining, constant basketball, constant traveling, constant, pressure of like, you have to play, you really know you have to like use up every minute because there's not a lot of people that can, come in for you. So that can definitely take a toll on you, like just the draining part. Like you want to get away from basketball a little bit, but there's nowhere to go, It's like we had a game after game after game. But, we've gone through that stretch. We stuck up for each other. I feel like this was a great challenge for us. We got so much better as a team. Off the court especially, like just picking each other up, and I feel like this is going to be great for March, when it really is like that. It's game after game after game. So we've gone through that, and I feel like we did a pretty good job. So now we're kind of settling into our schedule. So I feel like mentally it's going to be much better.
So where do you guys go to make it fun again? Like, what do you do? What do you tap into when you're like, this is a slog?
Yeah.
But to make it fun.
To each other. I mean, there's nowhere else to go. We've always been going to each other. It's still what we do. Sometimes it's, we see each other every day. I don't want to see you today, man. Like, I'm done. I want to be by myself. But in those moments, I feel like we really had to lean on each other, even though sometimes we're sick of each other. Sometimes we want to be alone, this and that. But overall, I feel like, especially the older players did a great job of, like, picking each other up, like making us like be together, enjoy our time together. Coach has been very patient with us. He understands what we're going through, so he is trying to, limit all of us in the best way he can, talk to us, be there for us mentally too. But, just leaning onto each other. It's always worked. It worked this time, and it will work every time.
Nika, even though you returned pretty much everybody from last year, you're a completely different team. We know what South Carolina brings to the table, but where do you feel like you have an advantage? Where do you feel there's something that you can take advantage of for Sunday?
I mean, they're a great team, They're long, they're big. They're definitely more athletic than us. I feel like everybody's aware of that, but I feel like what we bring to this table is just like us being together as a team. I feel like some of the games that we played this year, once the games that we were like this, like super together, reading each other, just playing free basketball, and obviously on the defensive part, just punching first. I feel like that is going to be huge for Sunday's game. Just punching first and expecting a punch back, getting it back, but punching again. So I feel like that's where our advantage can be. And just playing freely, just entering the game. It's just another game for us that we're trying to win. Not being scared, not being nervous. Obviously we played them in the national championship game, we lost. And they have the same team back practically. So, just that first punch is going to be super important for us, and not backing down the whole game.
And you even last week against Villanova, same building, afternoon tip, and that wasn't really a game that you could have skated away with either. How do you think that prepares you for pretty much a similar environment, just different time, different opponent, all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, Villanova is a very much different team than South Carolina. I feel like they're a great team also, just in a different way. They're very smart. They're very organized. They read each other well. They play super hard. They're very similar to us, I would say. So it was a tough game, especially after that whole stretch. But, we pulled through and we found a way to win, which is all that matters in the end. And, different people stepping up every time. I feel like that's very important for us. But on Sunday, we're going to need all 8 of us, to step up. So there's not going to be much room for mistakes, and we're all aware of that, and we're going to be ready for a fight.
Nika,
On Wednesday, I think it was Maggie told you about pursuing the single season record, breaking into the top 10, but also this week you were on the top 10 list for the Nancy Lieberman Award, which goes to the nation's top point guard. To be considered on that list from where you were at the start of the season, how satisfying is it that the work has paid off for you?
It's definitely very satisfying. I feel like it's an honor being on the list, considering, the players that have won that award many years before, including Paige. It's definitely a big honor, and with all the names that I've seen on that list, I mean, those are some great point guards on the list, so it's definitely an honor, but at the same time, I'm not satisfied. I have something that I'm working for that's much bigger than that, in my opinion, my personal view. So, that's a great honor. I'm very thankful for it. I feel like it's kind of a team honor because, assists, somebody's got to make the basket. So, but there's something greater that I'm working for that I want. So, just keep working for that.
What goes through your head, kind of follow up on Gabby's question, when you see teams just like sub out 4 or 5 players at a time and you guys just don't have that ability, what goes through your head when you see that on the court?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really care how much players they sub in, they sub out. I don't care if they're trying to wear us down, playing press, or subbing defensive players on all of us. I really don't pay attention to it. I don't care. I feel like we're in good physical shape. I lean on my girls, they lean on me. That's all we need, I feel like we feed it, even when we run out of energy, even when we're like a little bit worn down, we feed off of each other with that energy, and that's all that matters. And we're just gonna keep focusing on our game. We don't care how many players do they have in a rotation, how many players does anybody have in their rotation. We're just looking at us. That's it.
Does it concern you that Aaliyah's struggled the last 2 games, or do you figure she's done so much good this year that good Aaliyah is going to come out, it's bound to come back?
It does not concern me at all. She's our best player. Even the best players are gonna have a game like that. She just, it's understandable. It's not an excuse, but it's understandable that she just wasn't there mentally that day, and it's okay. I feel like Dorka stepped up big time for her, which shows how great of a teammate Dorka is. I know Aaliyah is gonna come into every game until the rest of the season, like she has been, and it's not concerning at all. She's a great player. She's going to keep doing what she's doing. It's just one fluke game. That's it.
How excited are you to finally play this game in front of fans at home? Being Minnesota, Bahamas, COVID without fans, how excited are you to finally have UConn Nation there supporting you?
I'm very excited. I mean, sold out XL. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a great atmosphere. We're all super, super excited. I know our student section is going to be crazy. The people are going to bring the energy. They're going to definitely, be our player off the bench, which is what we need, So we're very excited, and we can't wait for Sunday.